or cut down on screen time, behavioral science has got your back. It's like having a secret weapon in the battle against bad habits. Now let's get real for a second. Change is hard.
Welcome to Reclamation, the podcast where conversations meet practical insights, guiding you through the maze of behavioral science to empower better public health outcomes. With a passion for bridging the gap between medicine, psychology, and sociology, Tabo brings a unique perspective to every episode. Get ready to reclaim your understanding of health and behavior. This is Reclamation.
Hello, and welcome to the very first episode of the Reclamation podcast. I'm your host, Tabo Lukato Hadunka, and I'm coming to you from the heart of Zambia. Today marks not just the beginning of a podcast series, but the dawn of a journey we embark on together, a journey of understanding, change, and empowerment. As we navigate through the ebbs and flows of life, we often overlook the power that lies within us, the power to transform our behaviors for a healthier, happier existence. You see, this isn't just any podcast. This is a movement. It's a reclamation of our innate ability to shape our destinies through informed choices and deliberate actions. And I'm here to guide you through it all. Well, at least try to. But before we dive into the depths of behavioral science and its wonders, let me share a piece of my heart with you. For over 2 decades, I've been living with HIV, a journey that has taught me resilience, compassion, and most importantly, the significance of behavioral change. From taking my medication religiously to adopting a lifestyle that supports my well-being, every step has been a conscious choice. It's been a testament of how altering our behavior can indeed alter our lives. And that's pretty much what reclamation is about. It's about reclaiming control over our health by understanding why we do what we do and how we can actually do it better. It's about bridging the gap between knowledge and action, because it's one thing to have the knowledge, but actually materialize what you know and turn it into action? Yeah. So whether you're here seeking inspiration, knowledge, or just good old-fashioned company, I promise you this, you live with a spark to ignite change within yourself and within your community. In each episode, we'll unravel the mysteries of human behavior. We'll explore how motivation works, why systems and culture plays such a pivotal role in shaping us, and how we can harness the power of behavioral science to enhance our lives. But yeah, more than that, we'll share stories, obviously. Stories of triumphs, stories of trials, stories that resonate with each one of us on a personal level. Because at the end of the day, it's our stories that bind us together in this shared human experience, hey? Okay, back to my story. So over 20 years ago, life threw me a curveball that no one could have seen coming. I was diagnosed with HIV. And this was a time when the world whispered about it in hushed tones. The future seemed like a distant dream. But here I am, 2 decades later. Not just surviving, but I don't know, am I thriving? But yeah, thriving, I guess. And I owe it all to understanding and harnessing the power of behavior change. With a little humor and a lot of determination, I decided that HIV was going to be a part of my story, but not the whole narrative. But it wasn't just about popping pills and calling it a day. Nope. This was going to be a full-on lifestyle makeover. We're talking diet changes, goodbye late night pizza runs, right? But yeah, we're still working on that. Exercise too, because it turns out sweating is actually good for you. And through it all, I learned that behavior change is less about willpower and more about strategy. Because, we have the willpower to do a lot of things, but we somehow still do not execute them. So it's like playing chess with your habits. You've got to think 3 moves ahead and be ready to pivot when life puts you in check. Now, let's talk stigma. If HIV were a person, it would be the most misunderstood character in the story of life. So I made it my mission to set the record straight. Not just for me, but for everybody else living with this virus. We're not victims, we're victors. And if anyone has a problem with that, well, they can kindly take several seats. But humor aside, advocating for HIV awareness became more than just a passion. It's become my purpose. And I won't lie to you. There are days when the weight of it all feels too heavy to bear. Days when the fear creeps in. But, these are also the days when I usually discover just how strong I really am. You see, living with HIV is not just about managing the virus. It's about embracing life with all its ups and downs. It's about finding joy in the little things. A perfect cup of coffee, a good hair day, which I unfortunately can't relate to right now, or even just making somebody smile. And as for behavior change, well, it's become my superpower, I guess. It's allowed me to take control of my health narrative and write chapters filled with hope and healing. So here's what I want you to take away from my story. No matter what life throws at you, be it HIV or any other challenge, you have the power to change your behavior and change your life. I hope that makes sense. Okay, so let's get into it. Behavioral science. So behavioral science isn't just academic jargon. It's the study of why we do what we do and how we can do it better. It's about making informed choices and taking deliberate actions that lead us towards healthier, happier lives and happier versions of ourselves. Imagine it as the GPS of human behavior. It helps us navigate why we do what we do and how we can do it better. So it's like having a personal life coach in your pocket, but obviously without that hefty price tag, eh? Now you might be thinking, behavioral science, this sounds complicated. But trust me, it's all around us. It's in the ways we choose our morning cereal, or the way we choose the route to take to work, or even how we decide to swipe left or right on that dating app. No judgment here. At its core, behavioral science is about understanding the mechanics of decision making. It's about figuring out the why behind our actions and using that knowledge to make positive changes. And here's the best part. You don't need a PhD to apply behavioral science in your life. All you need is a little curiosity and a willingness to experiment. So like you want to eat healthier? I mean, I've been struggling with eating healthier. So maybe try placing fruits and vegetables at eye level in your fridge. Like don't place them at the bottom where you can't easily see them. That might help and encourage you to eat healthier. Or are you looking to save money? Then set up an automatic transfer to your savings account every payday. For example, did you know that simply changing the wording on a sign can influence how many people wash their hands in a restroom? Yep, experiments have been made just from the different language and wording of a sign. The number of people who actually washed their hands after using the loo increases. Or that reducing the plate size can help combat overeating. So yep, behavioral science is that cool kid in class who knows all the tips and tricks. And let's face it, we could all use a little help in the decision-making department. Well, at least I know I could. I mean, who hasn't stood in front of an open fridge on a lazy morning, wondering if that leftover pizza counts as a balanced breakfast because it has some vegetables sprinkled on it? So whether you're trying to stick to a workout routine or cut down on screen time, behavioral science has got your back. It's like having a secret weapon in the battle against bad habits. Now let's get real for a second. Change is hard. Change is hard. It's like trying to teach an old dog new tricks, except the dog is us and the tricks are healthier habits. But here's the kicker. Change is also possible, and not just winning the lottery possible or your Betway ticket passing possible. No, but actually happening every day possible. But it's not just about physical steps. It's about mental shifts too. It's about rewiring our brains to embrace new patterns and say goodbye to the old ones. And trust me, our brains are more flexible than we give them credit for. Think about it this way. Every time you make a choice, you're casting a vote for the kind of person you want to be. So, like, if you want to be someone who exercises regularly, every workout is a vote. So you're actually casting a vote towards that version of the person you want to be. And sure, there will be days when you slip up, when the vote goes to procrastination party or binge watching bonanza, because, I mean, I'd rather sit down in front of the screen than work out. But that's okay, because change isn't about perfection. It's about progress. Somebody told me that messy progress is okay. So the beauty of behavioral change is that it's not a one-size-fits-all deal. It's tailor-made to fit your particular life, your personalized goals, and your quirks. Now, I won't sugarcoat it. Transformation takes work. It's like building a muscle, You've got to exercise it regularly. But it's just like any good workout. The results are worth it. And I'm not just talking about the toned abs, though that would be really nice too. So yeah, in this podcast, we're going to explore all things behavior, from the way we tackle public health issues in Zambia to how we can transform our personal lives for the better. We'll delve into topics like mental health, holistic well-being, and yes, even how to make those pesky New Year's resolutions stick. Because, yeah, how many resolutions go just like that in the drain? So each episode will bring you insights from experts in the field, practical tips you can apply to your daily life, and personal anecdotes from yours truly. Because let's face it, sometimes you've got to hear it from someone who's been there, right? So why reclamation? Because that's exactly what this journey is about. It's about taking back what's ours, our agency over our health choices, and our ability to shape our own narratives. It's about shedding the stigma and embracing science as our ally in the quest for well-being. And if you're wondering what makes me qualified to lead this change, well, aside from my professional credentials and personal experience with HIV, I'm someone who believes in the transformative power of hope and action. I have seen firsthand how small changes can lead to big results. So trust me, bro. So whether you're tuning in from Lusaka or listening from halfway across the world, know that this podcast is for you. It's for anyone who's ever wanted to make a change but didn't know where to start. It's for those who are curious about the science behind our habits, and for those who are ready to take control of their health journey. Now, when you think public health, you might picture white lab coats, serious faces, But let's start with malaria, for example, our not-so-friendly neighborhood mosquito-borne disease. We've all heard the sleep under a mosquito net a million times. But let's be real. For me, when it is hot in the middle of October, it is hot enough to fry an egg on the pavement, that mosquito net, it feels like a sauna. So how do we encourage use? Enter behavioral science. So by understanding what motivates people, like comfort during those hot, sweaty nights, we can design better interventions and not just keep making noise about use a mosquito net, let's end malaria. But why stop at health? Like, behavioral science is also transforming how we drive. Yes, I'm looking at you, mister. I don't need a seatbelt. Or even how we save money, because who wants to get into Nkongole for Christmas? Like, let's start saving now. We have 5 more months. And it's even how we vote. The beauty of this approach is that it's not about dictating behavior. It's about understanding and then enhancing it. It's like having a conversation with the nation, but one where we listen first and then act. So, like, have you ever wondered why it's so hard to resist the second slice of cake? Like, you know, when you have cake in the fridge, like, I'll speak for myself. On my birthdays, there's a full cake and my husband doesn't really enjoy cake. It's very hard to control myself and tell myself I'm only going to have 1 slice in a day. That's almost impossible. We will eat that cake. I will. Let me not even say we. I will eat that cake for breakfast. I will eat it as a mid-morning snack. I will have a slice again just after lunch for dessert. I will have a slice again in the evening while watching a favorite TV show. So yeah, it's really hard to resist the second slice of cake, even when you know you should be done. Or why we check our phones every 5 minutes. Well, behavioral science has the answers. And they are not as complicated as you might think. It actually turns out our brains are wired for instant gratification. That's why the cake is calling my name. And why social media notifications are like catnip. But here's the good news. We can rewire our brains. It's like updating your mental software. Right? But it's not just about self-improvement. It's about community improvement too. Imagine if we all used behavioral science to be a little kinder, or a little more patient, or a little more understanding. We'd be living in a utopia, eh? Or at least a friendlier neighborhood. So whether you're trying to drink more water, or spend less time in front of the screen, or using your phone less, well, at least after this episode, of course, because don't decide you've had enough gadget time for the day when I need you to keep listening to this episode. But you just need to know that every step counts. Now, let's talk about these pesky habits we all want to kick. You know, the ones like biting your nails or hitting snooze 1 too many times. Behavioral science tells us that to break a habit, we need to replace it with a new one. So it's very hard to actually break a habit because I feel like you leave a vacuum, like you need something to fill up the vacuum. So instead of biting your nails, for example, how about drumming your fingers to the beat of your favorite song? And instead of hitting the snooze button, we put our alarms across the room. And we turn waking up in the morning into a scavenger hunt. Like put your phone as far away from the bed so that you're forced to actually get up and turn it off. But has anyone actually tried that though? Because I really struggle with getting up in the morning. So has anybody, I know it's something that has been circulating for a bit. Has anybody given it a try? And has it actually worked out, or have you found better ways of actually getting up early if you're like me who struggles to get up? Please leave a comment on if it actually helped you with getting up on time, or if you found another way of getting up on time. And just like that, we're at the end of the first episode. Wow, you actually made it this far. I hope you now have an idea of what reclamation is about. If you've enjoyed today's episode, don't keep it to yourself. Share the love. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell everybody about it. And thank you for tuning in today. Thank you for joining me till the very end. In the world of behavioral science, every ending is just the beginning of something new. Please remember to subscribe, leave a comment, and stay tuned for more adventures in behavioral science as we continue our journey towards a healthier, more informed decision making. Until then, stay curious, stay vigilant, stay healthy. This is Tabo Lukato Hadunka signing off from Reclamation.